Doozer shop here. Working on the Brian Sharpe 13 tonight here in the shop, and getting ready to set up to grind something after I did a take apart restoration on this grinder. Need some help and advice. I want to show you what I got. Let me take you handheld, show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so try not to push any buttons. All right. So you may look back a couple years and see the videos of me taking this completely apart and restoring, restoring some things, cleaning some things. It was in very good condition, but one of those things where you get a machine, it's been sitting forever, you just take it right down and look at everything and make sure everything's working and clean and all that good stuff. So what I'm trying to do here is this. Let me kneel down and show you guys. Okay. So this is the work head. And you know, it slides on the table, right? You loosen that bolt or that nut and the other one in the back, and it slides on the table. Now, this work head can swivel, right? So that's what I'm kind of talking about. Right now, there's a nut in the front and a nut in the back. And you know, these degrees are only neighborhood suggestions. So what I'm doing here is I got this trammed in line with the tailstock. Okay, let me show you my setup. All right, so I got a chuck in there. 4-jaw doesn't matter because with an indicator it doesn't have to be centered because it rotates on its own axis of the spindle. So I don't know how well you can see the indicator, but I'm zeroed out there, and I got the 7 brown Sharpe taper in the tailstock, and I'm indicating off the round part of the taper. Right or wrong, I'm just doing it like this for consistency. I got about the same readings at the tip, but the tip's a little mangled. So I'm at 0. There, right? Now if I swing to the front and swing to the back, I'm going to swing to the front. Alright, I get 10 thousandths in line at the front. And in the back, if I go around back, there's top again. You can see it'll swing down to 10 thousandths again. So the fact that I'm 10 thousandths and 10 thousandths front and back tells me that I am aimed, you know, I'm aimed center to center, front to back. But why there's movement is because I have a height problem. So I'm trying to kneel down and do this. So there we are, you know, at the front at 10 thousandths. Okay, if I keep going and I'm kneeling down, 15, and that's actually another 5, it's 20. It's right at the bottom. Trust me on the fact that that's 20 thousandths. So that's 20, it's 10, and back to 0 on top. So that tells me is I am 10 thousandths low at the tailstock. Okay? 10 thousandths low. Because think about it. If the headstock let me think about that. No, I'm 10 thousandths too high. No. The tailstock is pushing. No, I'm too low, right? Because it should be at 10 and it's at 0. So 10 on the side is theoretically where I need to be. So to come up at the top, to get that indicator back to 10, the tailstock would have to raise up 10 thousandths. So I'm going from 0 at the top to 20 at the bottom, 10 at the sides. And to get it to read 10 at the top, I gotta raise the tailstock 10 thousandths. Okay. So I can't, right? Because the tailstock rests on a flat, but it also rests on a V. It's a dual contact thing. This is not the tailstock from this machine, okay? This is not the tailstock from this machine. I didn't get a tailstock with this machine. I've got another tailstock. This is the second one I bought off eBay. I should check the other one. This one was in slightly better condition. It's never really been run on a machine. It's like brand new. The other one had some grind where the wheel had bumped it. Doesn't matter. But I should check that. So my tailstock is too low. Okay. What if I moved the work head 10 thousandths down? What if this whole thing was 10 thousandths lower? That would push my indicator from 0 to 10, and it would be 10 front to back. See, I can aim it. Side to side is your aim, right? The 10 thousandths reading at the front and the 10 thousandths reading at the back. That's your aim, your twist with that degree wheel. That's how you adjust that. But my tailstock is too low by 10 thousandths. Or you could say that the headstock is high by 10 thousandths. So, what are my options? Well, try the other tailstock body for sure. A option. Lower, B option would be to lower this by 10 thousandths, lower the headstock. How can I do that? Well, as I showed you, I'm gonna kneel down again. This whole green base assembly under the silver part where the protractor is, that's split there. So in theory, I could take this green base off, put it on the flat, put it on the surface grinder, and grind it down. 10 thousandths. That's an option too. Alright, quick update. So I grabbed the other tailstock I had in storage and I threw it up here. I didn't put it all together aside from just the threw the quill in there in the center. And it's interesting. Side to side is good, so that means my tram on my headstock or the work head is decent. If you go front to back, I get the same 10 thousandths. But up top, man, I got nothing. And I don't know if you can see, man. I know this thing's just terribly. There you go. It's not even touching. I mean, it is not even touching. So this thing is low, buddy. I could reset the indicator and measure it, but it's like, it's just gotta be 25 thousandths low. Nah, probably 15. That's a razor blade's about 20 some, but it's way too low. Okay. I went upstairs in the attic and I got the base off the second workhead, and there it is. I've had this over on the surface plate. I'm going to push down on this parallel. Let me zip you over here. You see that? That's 10 thou, but it's too high. I think, yeah, this other one is 10 thou higher than this one. And I was hoping it would be 10 thou less than this one, because I'm pretty sure the tailstock was too low. So I would grind this down on the border Schultz. If that's 6 inches wide, I can do it. If not, I can take it to work and do it. But let me show you here carefully. That's the bottom, and it is truly flat. You know, the V is actually up in there, so this would sit flat on the grinder magnet, and that would not be an issue. So now I'm one-handed trying to set this down as gracefully as I can. Okay. There is a finite level of care when you handle things that are precise that most people don't understand. You don't want to clank and clack or bang or budge anything around. It's funny. Non-machinists don't really understand that. But yeah, you can't be knocking this stuff around. You guys know. Other people don't know. So anyways, I guess that's it for now. Alright guys, I put the workhead back on the Brown & Sharpe 13, which means I assembled it back onto the base and put everything back on the table. That thing is heavy. Man, that's about everything I can do to get it back up there. Because I just wanted to double check things before I grind the base, right? There's a base I bought on eBay. There's the base from the workhead upstairs from the attic. So check out my setup here just for, just take that off just a sec. So I'm going to push up on here. So up makes it go below 0, okay, because InterRapids, they read backwards. God, I don't know why. They're a great indicator, but I hate the fact that they read backwards. So if I go, and then you can't see that. So it's 10 thousandths on the sides, right? And if I go here, about 10 thousandths on that side, okay? And 0 at the top. Alright, 0. Okay, 0. So what it's showing is that the top is low, and if I go left or right, it gets more. So what I need it to be is if it's 10 thousandths on the side, front or back, I need it to be 10 thousandths at the top. And what would make that happen is if, you know, the tailstock was higher, or the whole work head was lower, right? So how much does it got to be? Well, like I said, this inner rapid indicator is right on 0 at the top, and you can see it going increase. Let me focus on the mirror. All right, so that's 0 to the bottom is 15, another 5 is 20. I'm looking at like 20, 21 and a half, about 21 and a half. So you cut that in half, and that's 10. Well, you know, half of 21 and a half is, you know, 10.5, 10.75, whatever it is. So, like I said, if I gotta go 21 and a half, let's call it 20, so I don't go too much. Cut that in half, 10. So I'll take 10 off the base. I'll take 10 off that base because it's easy to do. And this diameter is 6 5/8, and I have exactly, 6 3/8 diameter. And I have exactly 6 3/8, maybe a smidge more on this grinder. So the bottom's completely flat. Like, this is completely flat. The V is below the flat. So I'm just going to plunk that on the grinder. I haven't dressed the chuck in a while. I'm not sure if it needs it. I could do the 5 pillar test, but what I'm going to do is put the base on there and just use an indicator and indicate around everywhere, around the circle, to make sure that I'm going to take it down parallel. So I don't do anything silly. So after I take 10 thousandths off of that one, I'm going to put it back on and measure it for height again. And I'll probably have to, I'll get a final dimension and take off that last 3/4 thou or whatever. All right, Doozer Shop, I'm beginning the process of grinding the base for the workhead on the Brown & Sharpe 13. So I got the base on the magnet of the Boyer Schultz 612, and I've got just over 6 3/8 of travel for doing the whole surface. Now I ran the I stoned the magnet, I stoned underside of this base, wiped everything off, dressed the wheel beforehand, of course, and I just inked it up a little bit with the Sharpie, and you can see the pattern. I'm at 0. I put a tape mark on 0 because I don't have resettable dials on this thing. That was the deluxe version. This is just the Challenger version. So I'm just barely taking off the blue Sharpie, and it gets a little bit light out here where I'm not touching. It kind of fades away, right in there somewhere. But I ran an indicator all around it with, mag base indicator stuck to the spindle, and I, shuffled the table around. It was 0, 0, 0 all the way around. So I'm assuming that this is just a tenth of deviation. If I'm getting flatness, if I'm touching all the way out there and I'm just barely tickling the marker, that's not even a tenth. So I don't think I need to shim this. I think I'm going to go with it and take my 10,000ths, probably one thou increment at a time, because this is a dry grinder, no coolant. And I just wanted to document you know, what I got going on here. And like I said, that's the initial touch off pass, and I'm going to use that, graduate it down 10,000ths. I know my initial thickness written down, and I got a micrometer. I can measure exactly how I'm doing there. To take it off the magnet, I might do 9,000ths, take it off and measure it. But I'm quite sure exactly 10,000ths is my number. I don't know. All right, I wanted to show you guys something. I cranked the wheel down half a thou, okay, 5/10. And this is what I got. So, talk about a few things. So it cleaned up pretty much to right at the edge of there. So about a half a thou out, whether it was ground half a thou out previously or my grinder is half a thou out. Don't know, it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Everything should be working okay. Now I want you to notice something. Look at that pattern, okay? It's got an angular lay to it, right? If I go, can you see that? It looks like chatter. It's not chatter. See how it's like a crisscross pattern? Okay. What that is, you can actually see it. I went really fast with the table. I was zipping because I was just a rough pass. What that is from, okay, is I've got a VFD, right? So the VFD just plugs with a cord into the motor. I took about 5 thou off the wheel to dress it at about 20 hertz. And then, no, it was about 30 hertz. It was half speed, 30 hertz. And then as a final dress, I went down to like 3, 4, 5 hertz. I don't know what RPM it is, but that wheel is just going really slow. And then I cranked the cross feed across with the diamond, and really, I just cut a spiral right across that wheel of about 1,000th. Yeah, I did about 1,000th of down feed. Maybe I did I think it was about 2,000ths of down feed. So it's a 2,000ths groove, yoink, going in the face of that. So if I feed really slow, if I feed normal, you don't see it. But what that is that spiral groove keeps, it's an open face wheel. Dressing your wheel at low speed with the diamond results in tearing off more of the abrasive grains instead of just rounding them, chipping them off. It tears them out. And that spiral groove is basically a slot for swarf. It's a slot for the metal that's ground off. It's like the flutes of a drill bit. Okay? Now this is the key to a cool grind and a sharp wheel, is to just to put it, guys, if you can afford to do it, put a VFD on your surface grinder and tool cutter grinder. I can dress at 10 or 20 hertz, and the grains, the white, I did not vacuum it up, but you'll see, you know, that's from the dressing, right, of the wheel. Because dressing at full speed, 60 hertz, if you didn't have a VFD, puts abrasive grit everywhere, and it glazes the grit over. It doesn't tear out the grit of the wheel. You don't want to break off the pieces of aluminum oxide as much as you want to break the bond and tear out the pieces. That way you have sharp, jagged edges and a very sharp cut. So, and that's evidenced, like I said, by the pattern left in the marker when I'm traversing fast. There's a lot to learn about grinding. This is something I learned a bit of it on, you know, Practical Machinist and reading what people have posted at other forums. And I played with it and tried it. And like I said, a VFD where you can dress at, you know, a slow speed is worth its weight, man. It's really good. So let me continue on. Just wanted to show you that. I think we're doing pretty well here. All right, guys, I've been standing here, oh, I don't know, 15-20 minutes grinding, and took it down 9.5 thousandths. And I know it's hard to see with the light, but the finish looks pretty good, I would say. I don't know how this camera is focusing. It's pretty good. This is all the swarf from the grinding, and I'm going to shop vac it up. But I didn't go the full 10 thousandths, just in case my measurement seems spot on with different indicators. So if I have to throw it back on and grind another half a thou, I can, but I'd rather assemble it and measure it before going too far. And going too far wouldn't be the end of the world, because then the tailstock would be high by a half a thou or something, and then the tailstock always wears lower because it's moved more than the workhead. So I'm going to vacuum it up, take it off, and put the workhead back together and measure and see how I did. And like I said, no big deal if I have to throw it back on, grind another half a thou or something, but I don't know. I guess I'd rather be conservative and do more work putting it together, taking it down one more time than, you know, going too far. All right, bring it back. All right, guys, got the base washed in the parts washer, cleaned, dried, put back on. Got the indicator back in, and we're looking good. I'm at 0 there. And on the sides, I get 1 front and back, and in the bottom, oops, I get just a tickle under, just right at 2 thou, right? So let me look, yep, 2 thou. So what I'm going to do is take another thou off. I mean, I am like, you know, 1 9/10, you know, almost 2 thou, and split it in half, so that's 1 thou. I got to go more off the base. I took 9.5 thou. I should have taken 10. If I would have taken 10 off exactly, I'd be a half a thou too high. And I know that yeah, I gotta go down more, because if I was down more, if I was down 1 thou, I'm pushing down. If I was at 1 thou at the top, then I'd be, instead of 2 at the bottom, you know, I'm showing 2 at the bottom. If I took this whole thing down another thou, then I'd be splitting the difference and I'd be right in the middle. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this heavy ass thing off and split it apart again and grind another thou, because it's showing, you know, just a 1/10 under 2 thou. And if I'm a 1/10 low, I mean, that's fine, because the tailstock will wear down a little anyways. So that's what I'm going to do. Take it apart, grind another thou, put it in the grinder, grind another thou, clean it up, wash it, dry it off, put it back on, measure it again, and do a little happy dance. Because I'm going in the right direction, but I didn't want to rush it. Either way. So I'm going to do that now. I'll bring you back. All right, we are back on the magnet. Let's have some fun, shall we? One more thou. All right, let's do it. All right, we dusted off one more thou, took 2 passes of half a thou, and she's looking good. I'm super happy. Let me, that's a good finish too. Let me wash it up and clean it up and install it and bring it back. All right, folks, got her back installed. Where I'm sitting now, the tailstock, this is perfect. The tailstock is about 1/2 thousandth too high. That means as the tailstock wears down, as it wears down, it will end up, you know, more perfect. It'll wear in before it wears out. And my side to side on the front and on the back and on the top, between the top and the bottom, it just shows that the tailstock is 1/2 thou too high relative to the workhead. So that worked. It's very successful. And you know, I have to be methodical about this because you can look at an indicator and you can get the wrong numbers. So this is a, what is that, Brown and Sharpe? No, this is a Tessa? Yeah, this is a Brown and Sharpe indicator. So you got to watch out because with the Brown and Sharpe indicator, your angles are a bit different than the InterRapid, and also on the InterRapid, it's backwards. When you push the needle down, it goes counterclockwise. If I can, yeah, down is counterclockwise. The Brown and Sharpe is the opposite. So you got to watch out. That's why the linear travel little indicators is what I like to use on my Noga type bases. But anyhow, very happy how this came out. Tickled pink, as a matter of fact. Now I got 2 spare bases. One I acquired off eBay, and this other one goes to my workhead upstairs, which is probably not going to be the right height, so that's a thing for another day. Hey, my ear protection matches my grinder. Nice. All right. Now I can get on to the business of grinding the shaft for the Hendy. So thanks for coming along with me on this little side journey here in Doozer shop. All right, Doozer shop. I got the the motor back on the workhead, and I got my my table trammed in. You tram it in. You loosen them 2 nuts, bolts, and you tram it in. Oh, I didn't tighten that one. That's why I got to tighten that one. So that's good. That should be ready to go. And I put it back in the drawer. No. No. Yes. So this is a piece of a Danley die set. This is 1.25 inches. This is 1.5 inches. I think it's 1.5 inches. This thing is straight and round. I mean, it is really straight and really round, and it's got centers in the ends. So I use this to tram in the table. Now I've got my piece in there, my shaft for the Hendy. So this was hardened in the furnace, and it is 56 C scale, so that should be fine. And let me look at the, I've got 2 thou, a little less than 2 thou of warpage. Okay, so I've got about oh, I don't know, each diameter is about 15 thou bigger than it needs to be. So 7 thou. I get to take off, you know, 7 thou, and then I can get rid of that 2 thou of befudgery. So that works. I need to make, that's the 7/16 14 thread feature there. And this is a driver dog, right? So what I got to do is turn that on, turn that on. So that goes around, and the centers are stationary, right? The dead center, so they're both, you know, dead centers. So what I have to do, and this is your driver dog catch, is maybe I'll take a piece of aluminum, tap it for you know, 7/16 14, and just make a little bar coming out where this thing can you know, grab onto to drive it. So that should work. No big deal. Just heard on the radio that Donald Trump was shot at one of his rallies. I got the NPR radio on there. What crazy times, man. A lot of people don't like that guy. Yeah, well, either way, don't shoot at him. Good Lord. But anyhow, yep, super happy about this. Basically the only thing, oh, I got to diamond dress my wheel, make the driver dog piece for that, and then I can grind this guy. And I got, oh no, I'm wrong. I got my stops, but I don't have the center block. I got to make the center block for the stops to hit on, because I got these shoulders, right? So I'm going to use these to dial in the shoulders so I don't, you know, crash the side wheel into my, you know, my step features. Okay, so make the block and dress the wheel, make the driver dog, and then I'm off to the races. So I'm going to work on that. Doozer Shop.